village of Etroubles is situated at 1,280 meters above sea level, and it is only 16 kilometers away both from Aosta, the chief town of the autonomous region of Aosta Valley, and from the Swiss border, marked by the Grand Saint-Bernard Pass in the canton of Valais. The national road, linking up Aosta with the Grand Saint-Bernard Pass and the tunnel, plays a very important role in international communications with Central and Northern Europe. The Aosta Valley is also surrounded by the highest mountains in Europe. The population in Etroubles has seen a slight increase over the past few years. The old Route des Gaules, which is still visible nowadays in some areas, was a very important communication channel. This road would eventually become the Francigena Way, which was the road linking up the British Isles with Rome and Jerusalem through Europe, through the Grand Saint-Bernard Pass, and through the village of Eudracinum, known today as Etroubles. Various important monuments go back all the way to the Middle Ages. In the hamlet of Vacherie stands a square tower, which was built in the 12th century. You can also find a well-preserved Romanesque bell tower, which belonged to a church that was built in the 15th century. The most famous moment in history remains the crossing of the pass by Napoleon Bonaparte and his army in May of the year 1800. Over the centuries, from the Roman era to present times, Etroubles witnessed a great deal of change in the way the road was used. It was initially used only by wayfarers either on foot or on carts pulled by oxen or horses. It then had to be adapted to conform to the first cars of the beginning of the 20th century and eventually to the heavy traffic of today. In 1958, the drilling of the Grand Saint-Bernard tunnel began. The tunnel between Italy and Switzerland was eventually inaugurated on the 19th of March, 1964. Since its opening, the tunnel has been crossed more and more often. In 2010, after over 30 years and various projects, the construction of a new tunnel began in order to avoid the villages of Etroubles and Saint-Oyen. This new tunnel is 4 kilometers long and should be open to traffic in 2017. This road will help protect the landscape, the meadows and forests in particular, improve the quality of the air, and bring greater tranquility and security to local residents and tourists. Etroubles stretches over territories placed both on the right and left banks of the valley. Coniferous forests cover the right side, whereas the left is home to numerous small villages all the way up to 1,600 meters above sea level. There are many wooded and agricultural areas which have been preserved through the years. These forests still produce the wood that local inhabitants use as timber, as firewood, as well as fodder for local farmers. The landscape in Etroubles is mainly made of forests and pastures. Each year, the forests provide every inhabitant with 400 cubic meters of firewood. Given the high altitude, the seasonal greener areas only develop towards the end of spring. This is the time when many flowers like geraniums, petunia, and mountain flowers are planted and can often be admired in beautiful flower boxes, often carved out of tree trunks. Local volunteers are responsible for taking care of the flowers planted along the public streets and with great efficiency. Over the last 30 years, most of the communal buildings and private properties have been renovated. The new town planning scheme was passed in 2010. It aims at restoring existing buildings and allows for the development of a very small number of new building areas. Wood, stone, and slate are the main materials used for buildings and roofs. The colors of the facades reflect the alpine environment. The streets of the village and of the hamlets of Échevenot and Chez-les-Millet have been redeveloped thanks to the new cobblestone paving. The urban furniture has been renewed with benches, flower boxes, and litter bins, whose colors remind of the warm tones of wood. The main street and certain squares of the village have been turned into pedestrian areas, helping reduce the sound of traffic, much to the delight of the children, inhabitants, and visitors. There are many vegetable gardens cultivated in the whole communal territory, and they are to be found along the public streets. This cultural heritage of the past is an interesting and typical feature of the village. Built in the 12th century, the parish church was renovated in 1814. The bell tower, as we see it today, was originally built of beautiful dressed stone in 1480 on square foundations. It features a wooden portal, which was carved in the 17th century and was the entrance to the old church. The new church was dedicated to Our Lady of the Assumption. The exhibition of the parish treasury displays liturgical objects dating back to the 14th century up to present times. The commune of Etroubles was awarded the green flag of Legambiente. It belongs to the club I Borghi Più Belli d'Italia. It was also awarded the orange flag, an eco-tourist award from the Italian Touring Club, and was granted the Gioiello d'Italia label of the Ministry for Regional Affairs, Tourism and Sport. The Regional Forest Service is responsible for the maintenance of the forest areas, while farmers and farmers' cooperatives cultivate the meadows as grazing lands to produce fodder for the winter. Etroubles is also home to the famous Fontina cheese, which has protected designation of origin. The breeding of dairy cows is essential to the production of this local delight. The very first dairy in the Aosta Valley was founded in Etroubles on the 24th of July, 1853. From October to May, the farmers of the regional capital would send their milk to help produce the typical Fontina cheese. A museum illustrating the various stages in the making of the cheese, butter, and cheras displays the old tools that were used and can be found inside the original building. Etroubles is also home to the main office of the Tourism Office of Grand Saint-Bernard Valley and Valpelline District. Its aim is to promote our territory abroad and welcome passing or permanent tourists by providing them with useful and interesting information on our area and the whole Aosta Valley. Several tourists like to spend a night or two in Etroubles. There are 2 hotels, bed and breakfasts, chambre d'hôte, a camping site, bars, restaurants, a youth hostel, a pharmacy, a bakery, and various flats to be rented out during the summer. Gastronomy plays an important role in the economy of the valley, and there are many local products such as jambon de Beauce, wines, lard of Arnat, apples, and many more to be discovered. Built in 1904, the first hydroelectric power plant of the Grand Saint-Bernard Valley is also in Etroubles. It has been turned into a museum and gathers documents, objects, and machines collected during its renovation. It is mainly visited by groups of students coming from all over Europe. A new modern hydroelectric power plant was opened in 2007. This infrastructure is a fantastic contribution to the economic resources of the commune. In the past few years, more and more private citizens have also equipped their houses with photovoltaic installations and solar panels. Most of the power produced is of hydroelectric origin. The nursery school in Etroubles is attended by children from 3 to 5 years old and also welcomes children from the neighboring communes of Saint-Oyen and Saint-Rémy-en-Beauce, thereby allowing the 3 communes to rationalize their resources. On the other hand, the local primary school is based in Saint-Rémy-en-Beauce. A school bus is available to bring the children to both schools. There are currently 28 children attending nursery school and 45 in primary school. Many didactic activities are offered to the children, like recycling, waste separation, or cultivation of the vegetable garden. The Tree Day is a tradition where a tree must be planted for each child. Finally, the initiative We Clean the World, in collaboration with Legambiente, is also an interesting activity for the little ones. The local population is gradually getting used to sorting waste. The Library of Etroubles was originally opened in 1986 as a center for the promotion of books and literature, and has also become involved in organizing events and socializing activities for the locals, returning visitors of Etroubles, and of course, tourists. In recent years, many initiatives have been undertaken to improve the quality of life and preservation of traditions and local crafts in a natural, pollution-free environment. Since 1984, the Veilla takes place every August. The Communal Board for Tourism is responsible for putting on this live show, featuring ancient trades and traditions. For one night, Etroubles and its inhabitants remember ancient times which haven't quite disappeared yet. In the main and side streets of the village, ancient trades in relation with agriculture, dairymen and the making of fontina, threshing of wheat, sheep breeding and wool manufacture, to handicrafts, ironworking, sawyers, dressmakers, and the seam of carnival costumes lanzetta, to social life, washerwomen and the laundry at the fountain, mora players, smugglers, chimney sweeps, teachers and their pupils can all be seen on stage. Local gastronomic specialities can also be enjoyed. Mixed grills with vegetables, vegetable soup, raspberries and strawberries with whipped cream, and bougie, fried biscuits, sopa freda, bread soaked in red wine, local coffee, and Aosta Valley wines. There is also a masquerade with traditional live music. Carnival is a tradition that means a lot to the inhabitants of Etroubles, and it has become an eagerly awaited event even among the younger generations. With its antique traditional costumes called lanzette, the carnival is a reproduction of Napoleon's crossing of the pass. On Shrove Thursday and Friday, the masqueraders walk around the village, singing and dancing, bringing a warmer atmosphere to the cold winter days. Every 2 years in July, an important event attracts large audiences of cattle breeders, fans, and tourists. The Battle of the Queens. The show isn't violent, but it is based on the cow's natural fighting spirit. The preparation and the bakery of the local bread is also one of the most important events, where the whole community takes part, with great attention to care and a proud sense of responsibility. The bread was baked only once a year, and it was preserved by making it dry on ratelli, the bread racks. In November, the locals start preparing the wheat and wood in order to bring the communal bakery oven to the right temperature. The heat is then maintained during the whole of November. Etroubles may be a village that is mainly based on agriculture. It has nevertheless shown great interest in art, culture, and history in more recent times. A wonderful experience began in 2003 when the communal administration and the population came up with the idea of creating an artistic open-air museum. Opened on the 20th of May 2005, the first open-air museum in Aosta Valley is housed in the medieval village of Etroubles. The permanent exhibition features 22 works of art such as sculptures, frescoes, and paintings by internationally recognized artists. The project is financed both by the European Social Fund and with the help of the prestigious Pierre Janada Foundation in Martigny. It is being led by the current administration of Etroubles and is entitled À Etroubles, avant toi son passé. The works of art on show represent the history, the culture, and the important people who have traveled through the Grand Saint-Bernard Valley. Around 24,000 people visit the village of Etroubles each year. The collaboration with the Pierre Janada Foundation in Martigny has made it possible for our small village to host some of the most highly appreciated exhibitions in the whole world. In 2007, Rodin et Claudel, Création et Matière. In 2008, Marcel Imsand, Luigi Le Berger. In 2009, Les gravures du Grand Saint-Bernard et sa région. In 2010, Sculpture de Degas à Picasso. In 2011, Hans Erny de Martigny à Etroubles. And in 2012, Henri Cartier-Bresson, Collection Sam, Lilette et Sébastien Safran. Given the particular morphological and climatic conditions, characterized by a great exposure to the sun, a limited altitude, and low humidity, the territory of Etroubles is an ideal destination for the summer holidays. It offers a wide choice of mountain walks and sports facilities. The walks leading up to the mountain pastures are countless, leading to beautiful sunny open spaces and some of the most splendid views of the whole valley. A multifunctional sports center can be found in the area of Lilla. Guests can enjoy a game of tennis, five-a-side football, basketball, volleyball, pétanque, and outdoor bowls. Built in 2002, the gymnasium offers the possibility to practice virtually any kind of indoor sport. The Grand Saint-Bernard cross-country skiing track actually starts in Etroubles, stretches over 18 kilometers, and has a total drop of 200 meters. Thanks to its good sun exposure, Etroubles offers interesting itineraries to all those who enjoy ski mountaineering. Crevacol Ski Resort, in the commune of Saint-Rémy-en-Beauce, is only 5 kilometers away from Etroubles. The splendid ski slopes have an overall length of 22 kilometers. Fiolet is a typical sport of the Aosta Valley, and it is deeply rooted in our tradition. It is with great pride and honor that Etroubles is taking part in the European competition Entente Florale 2013. We would like to thank all the people who have contributed towards the embellishment of our territory and towards preparing the European competition Entente Florale 2013. This event has let us rediscover the true potential of our territory, which will allow us to keep on turning Etroubles into a beautiful place where visitors and tourists will always be warmly welcomed.